Hi guys, I wanted to make a quick video for you just to talk about that map assignment a little bit because I think sometimes it throws a lot of students maybe for a little bit of a loop. It seems kind of complicated, but basically what you're going to do with this map assignment, the My Academic Plan, is you want to basically list all the courses on that plan that are needed for your degree. So you'll start with anything that you've already taken, and hopefully you can list those in order, and I'm going to show you a couple places that you can find to look for this information. So you'll start with the courses that you've taken already. And then you'll look and see what you've got left to take to get your degree. For ACA 115 students, you need to be able to show how you're going to get the associate's degree. And for ACA 122, you're going to need to show how you can get the bachelor's degree. And so, yeah, I'm asking you to list all the courses that you need to get that degree. But it's not super difficult once you find the resources and you find that those things are already planned out for you in a lot of cases. You just have to find the right plan. One note about that, if you're in ACA 122, you have to do the degree. You have to show how you're going to do the degree through your bachelor's degree. Even if you decide at some point that you don't want to transfer, or maybe you know that you don't plan to transfer right now, I'll show you some sort of ready-made plans you can use. But since it is a transfer course, one of our requirements is academic planning through the bachelor's degree. So you'll need to do that part of the plan, even if that's not something you intend to do right now. All right, so first of all, what we want to do is we want to find the form. So I'm going to share my screen and kind of show you where it is. Let's see, just give me 1 second to do that. Okay, so you should be seeing my screen now, and I've got my summer courses up here, but again, these instructions are going to go, they're going to apply whether you're in the summer course or the fall course or the spring course. Let me pull my ACA 122 just to show you where it is. So normally the instructions for this in a summer class are going to be somewhere around week 3 or 4, because that's when this assignment is due the first time. And then in like a fall or a spring course, it's normally going to be due somewhere around week 6 to 8, somewhere around there. So I think in this course, it's actually in week 4. And you'll see other assignments there. But basically what we're looking for is the map. There's the My Academic Plan worksheet. There's a rubric on how it's going to be graded. And then there's where you submit it down here. So what we want is the worksheet. We want to open that up. And basically this is the form that you're going to be filling out in order to complete your map. So I apologize, it's got a lot of instructions in there. I really try to make this assignment for you know, someone to be able to do without having a lot of extra help from me or whatever, because I know that you guys are online students. But it does, sometimes I think maybe the whole page of instructions intimidates people, so I wanted to kind of break it down for you a little bit. And I'm not sure why my computer's being super slow today, but it is. So it will eventually open. I wanted to show you where it was in the course, so I went ahead and opened it from the course. I probably should have just had it already open just so this would take a little bit less time. Okay, so here we are. We got the form open. And I'm going to click on enable editing there so you can see. So yeah, it does at the front. Kind of explains a little bit about how many hours you need to get an associate's degree and a bachelor's degree. I would like your ultimate career goal here on the first page. Just if your ultimate career goal is to be a surgeon or to be a veterinarian or a loan officer or a mortgage officer or something like that, just go ahead and put that there. That helps me out when I'm trying to figure out, when I'm going through and I'm grading it, I'm trying to figure out, you know, are you on the right academic plan to meet your goal? So over here, when we look at page 2, it's got a section for community college. It's got your major, your advisor, their office number. I mean, put as much of this as you possibly can. At this point, you are all enrolled at the community college, so you should all know who your advisor is. If not, you can find that in Web Advisor and Student Planning. But I do want to make sure you have that. And then the source of this plan can either be our website, give me the link to that, or it can be Student Planning and Web Advisor, and you can just say Web Advisor Student Planning for that. But you should be able to fill this out pretty completely here. And then basically I want you to list, like right here you would put in, like maybe you'd put in fall 2019 if that's when you started. And maybe this will be spring 2020. And then this will be summer 2020. I should have more little tables here than you need. But I mean, if you need more, it's a Word file. So you can sort of copy it and then paste another one below if you need to, or you can delete some of them. I think I give you like maybe 6 different semesters worth. If you don't need all that, feel free to manipulate that and delete it. Early college dual enroll students, sometimes you guys take courses over a longer period of time, but you're only taking one course a semester. So you might actually want to lump that together. You might want to put like 2019 and 2020 and then list all the courses you took in that one whole year period, and that's fine. But I would like for you to list, this would be the course name right here. So this would be your course number. So this would be like English 111. The course title would be, I forgot what it's called now, Rhetoric and Research or something like that. I forgot what it's called. And then credit hours will be 3 credit hours. Counts for degree, you can just leave that blank if it does. Maybe put an N or an X or something in there if it doesn't count. I have that column in there because sometimes things like, for example, if you took a developmental course or a transitions course, you need those to move on to the English and math that count for your degree, but the course themselves, the developmental courses themselves don't count. Or let's say maybe you were enrolled in cosmetology for a couple years, and then you're coming back to get a business degree. The cosmetology courses that you took don't count. So I just want to make sure that you know sort of what counts in those hours, that 120 for the bachelor's degree or the 60 for the associate's degree. I wanted to make sure that you know which courses count and which ones don't. So you'll fill in what you've already had, and then you'll start right after that with what you still have left to take. I know online, a lot of times we will list out, like, here's the fall semester, the spring semester, etc. Don't just give me the generic one. I want this assignment to be you specific. So I want to know what courses you've already taken and then what you have left. So there's a community college section, and then I ask you to sort of tally that up. So how many do you have to have for the degree you want? If you want to do, associate's degree in arts or something, it's probably 61. If you want to do maybe a business administration or accounting degree, it might be 64, it might be 72. Generally, this number is going to be somewhere between 60 and 70 hours. And then how many have you already earned? And then how many do you still have left to take? So these two numbers right here should equal this one right here or be greater than. All right. Then there's a section for the university part. Now, ACA 115, you're done with this. ACA 122, you'll need to fill out this transfer college, transfer university section. You may not have an advisor yet, and that's absolutely fine, but you should know where it is you want to transfer to or where you're making the plan. If you don't know exactly where you want to transfer yet, that's fine. I'm going to show you, like I said, some ready-made plans that you can use, but you should make this map for one of them. Just choose one, okay? If I went to Appalachian and I studied elementary education, because that's one of my choices, then go ahead and make the map for that, so you can know what courses you need to be taking to get ready for that. So you should be able to fill out what university and what major you want. And then I need a link for that too. So if you find one of those ready-made plans, or if you find a program listed somewhere online, I need to know the link to that. And then again, go ahead and give it dates. You may be like, well, I'm going to do a nursing program, and I don't know if I'm going to get into that program at a certain time or not. Go ahead and list the dates that you are going to first apply. Let's do wishful thinking there. If you didn't get in when you wanted to, or if you took a little bit longer to finish your associate's degree, that's fine. You can always adjust it later. But I think a plan that has dates on it is more powerful than one that doesn't, because you can actually see the light at the end of the tunnel. You can see when you're going to be done. So go ahead and put dates down, like maybe this is going to be fall of 2022, and this will be spring of 2023. But it's nice to see when you'll get that done. And so, yeah, we're kind of asking you with this assignment to list out all the courses you would need each semester till you graduate. And I know that this is not necessarily, I mean, this is going to have to be revised probably every semester, but it's still helpful to sort of have that planned out and see where you're going. A couple reasons for that, and I don't want to make this video too long, so I'll keep it short. But I think it's helpful. Sometimes people want to major in something and they don't realize exactly what all the courses are that are required. For example, maybe you want to major in business or economics or whatever, and you didn't realize that calculus was required. Or you want to do forensics because forensics seems really cool, but you weren't quite prepared for just how many science courses were involved. So sometimes when you look at the courses that are required for a degree, It may either help you make up your mind that, hey, that sounds cool, that's something I want to do, or I didn't know there was so many English courses involved in that, or so many math courses involved in that. So I think looking at the courses that are required is super helpful for you. And just so you know what you're getting into, if that makes sense. So you'll have that, and again, I've given you 6 semesters, and you may not need all of them, and you can delete if you don't need them all. You can add more if you need to add more. Again, I want you to tally it up at the bottom. So these bottom numbers here should all equal or be greater to this top number. So this is the total number required, which is generally going to be 120 hours or 122. If it's a private school, it might still be 128. But usually the universities are trying to get this down to 120. So it should be 120 that's required. And then how many you've planned and or earned from the community college, how many you've planned and or earned from the university, and then what your total will be. So maybe it's 120 required, and you had 68 at the community college, and then you had 60 at the transfer university, so you might have 128. I just need to know that that bottom number is equal to or greater than what's required, or you need to know that actually. All right, so there's the form. I'm going to minimize that. And now I want to show you some places that you can go to for some of these resources. So the first thing is figuring out what you've already had and when you took the courses, or maybe if you've had courses transferred in. So I'm going to go to our homepage here, and I'm going to go to my CCCTI, and I've already logged in so that I didn't have to worry about entering my name and password and stuff. Over here on the right hand side, you'll see Web Advisor Self-Service, and I want you to log into that. You should be pretty familiar with this anyway. This is how we're going to plan what courses we need. This is how we're going to register for courses from now on. So Web Advisor Self-Service, Web Advisor for Students. You'll go down to Academics and then Student Planning. So Web Advisor for Students, Academics, Student Planning. And you should get here. And this is where you would normally go to like plan and schedule courses you want to take in the future semesters, etc. If I go here and let's see, it doesn't really matter which ones of these I click on. If I click on plan and schedule, either way, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for this timeline here. I'm gonna click off of my warnings there. I'm just looking at me right now. I've sort of created my own sort of account here, and I had planned a couple courses out for the future just so you could see. But when you go to timeline, you should basically see a list of what you took or what you have planned. These are all things I had actually planned out for myself, just kind of showing students how to do this. But there are some courses I took here somewhere. If I go back, yeah, you can see in spring 2008, I took aerobics, and in fall 2018, I took yoga. I mean, I've been working here for a long time, and every now and then I'll just take an activity class or something like that. But you may have a long list of courses there. Before this, normally whatever semester comes first, and well, it's been a long time. I guess I don't have anything there. Normally you'll see a list of transfer courses too. So if you were somewhere else before, or if you took classes in high school, you might have a list of transfer courses and then a list of the things that you took while you were here. So that will help you fill out those first few columns. If you've never done anything anywhere else and your first semester is this semester here now, then you don't have to worry about the timeline. You just know that what you're taking right now is what you want to do, what you want to list there for that. But this is where I would list these courses. And if I were getting an associate's degree, these PE classes would count as electives, so I would want to make sure that I listed those. So that's the first thing we're going to do with this form, is we're going to list courses that we've already taken, and or you can just put the word transfer in here. If maybe you were at 2 different schools before this, and now you're here and you have transfer courses from several different places, you can just make a whole long list of transfer courses there. That's all I'm concerned about, is that you show what you previously had before you show what you're taking now. All right, so that's the timeline. And I don't know if you've played with this or not, but if you haven't played with this, you can also then sort of look up what you need and sort of plan them out, sort of like what we're doing on paper, only you can actually do it in here in our student planning. If I go back to student planning at the top here, I'll see a button called My Progress. And this is where you can see what courses are going to be required for your degree here. So if you are, let's say you are in the culinary program, that should show up here, and it should give you a long list of courses. Now see, I'm not actually enrolled in any programs, but I can pretend I am. So I can go to View a New Program, And I can, let's see. I was trying to find culinary just since I had mentioned it. I can go down here to culinary arts. And honestly, I forget which one of these is the degree and which one of these is the diploma. Let's see what that one is. That one is a certificate. That's not the one I wanted to. Know that every program we have is in here. So if we have a certificate in it, if we have a degree in it, if we have a diploma in it, it's going to be listed. Okay, here we go. So if I were in culinary, and I did not just change my major, by the way, I just did a what if scenario. But Associate in Applied Arts and Culinary, this would basically be the list of courses I would need to get that degree. And then it would show me if I had completed them, it would be in green. If I have them planned out or in progress, I think it shows up as yellow. You can see I've got some of these courses that would count planned. But this is a really nice way of looking at it. So basically, I need, now the developmental stuff here, if you've already placed an English 111 or a Math 100 or higher, then you don't need to worry about this. I'm going to start looking at the general education requirements here. So English 111, if I had already had that, that would be green, but clearly I need to take that, right? I also, it says complete 3 credits in this area, and you saw that I had planned out to take COM 120 in a future semester. So that would be listed there too. The math classes, I need to take Math 110, but I think any of these would actually work. Any of the higher level maths would work. So again, it shows those. Humanities, I need 3 credits there. And you can see the whole long list of choices that I have to choose from there. Now this isn't done semester by semester like I'm asking you to do. I can show you how to find that easy, pretty easy for the associate's degrees. Transfer students though, if you're in the associate in arts and associate in science, there is no sort of like layout for you. You just sort of have to kind of figure out what you want to take when you want to take it. But those baccalaureate degree plans from the university often will have that for you as well. So let me just show you one of those real quick, and then we need to move on. Let me go back up here and show you like an associate in arts, which is just kind of our general transfer degree. So if I were an associate in arts, it would show me need 60 hours here. I'm going to ignore the developmental again because I hope I would have placed out of that or placed into a transitions course. For that, I need English 111 and 112. Then I need other humanities, fine arts, 9 credits worth, which is going to be 3 classes. I've got 2 of those planned out, but I would need to pick another one. And then same thing with social behavioral science. I've got a couple of those planned out. I would need to pick another one. Math, I have choices in math. I will tell you that that Math 143 is probably not the best math to take, and that's just an aside. But there are very few schools that want that. Most schools want statistics, and if you want to do anything in math and science, they generally want Math 171 or even business at 171. Natural sciences, you have to take one of the groups. So I don't have to take all of these. It's a long list. I just have to take one of the groups, 4 hours. And then this additional gen ed hours for associate in arts and associate in science students, notice it says 14 credits. That's a lot of leeway there. So everything up here has been pretty prescriptive. Everything underneath this is sort of open. It doesn't matter which of these courses you take as long as you're totaling 14 credit hours. So we've got that. And then underneath that, there's elective hours. Those are gen ed electives. Then there's just pre-major gen ed electives, 14 more credits. So 28 credit hours of your degree could be electives. That's why looking at what the university wants is so important, because I really wouldn't want you to be here and spend just a whole year taking fun stuff. Not that math and science isn't fun, but you know what I mean. But then find out that when you get to the university, they wanted you to have economics 1 and 2. They wanted you to have accounting 1 and 2. They wanted you to have business calculus. They might have had several classes they wanted you to take. And while I was over here taking aerobics and yoga and weight training, I got my associate's degree, but I show up at the university unprepared. So you really want to look at what the university is asking for. And this 14 hours of gen ed pre-major electives, this 14 hours here, if I get to the top of this list, of additional gen ed hours, I want to tailor that to basically take what the university is looking for. All right, and then if you notice, we also got ACA 122s required there. If you're taking ACA 115, the 122 will count for both. So if you're taking ACA 122, that'll count for any of our programs here. If you're taking ACA 115, it'll count for our 2-year associate degrees. All right, so you've got that list, but that does not help you necessarily figure out what to take when, right? I can play around with it a little bit. So if I can look at, for example, so let's see, well, that'll be offered anytime. I can look at History 132. I can click on it, and I can see sort of when it's normally offered. I can go to the website and see if it's offered in the fall or the spring. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. I forgot I couldn't do that here. But at any rate, this My Progress section is going to be very helpful to you. And it's really nice once you start taking a few classes to see the green keep popping up and see that you've got some of those requirements completed. Now, for students who are just going to get a 2-year degree with us, most of our ACA 115 students, maybe our nursing students, if you just go to our homepage, and I think I had that, well, see what, let me just click on my CCC&TI link. So if I go to www.cccti.edu, just our main homepage, I can scroll down here to all programs. And now here, for most of our programs, the Associate in Arts and Associate in Science are a little different, but for most of our other programs, I'll actually see the layout of courses and how they want me to take them. So I mentioned culinary earlier. If I click on culinary and I click on the associate's degree, it will basically give me a layout of what I should be taking in the fall and the spring and the summer and the next fall and the next spring. So it sort of shows me what to take in what order in order to get done in my 2 years. Now, you may not have taken the courses in this order, and that's fine. If you've already got a few of those courses, like maybe you took English 111 already, and you've already got a COM 120 out of the way or something, that's fine. You see what you still have left to take, though. So just go ahead and list the courses you've already had, like I said before, and then sort of fill in with what you still need to take. And that'll work for culinary, it'll work for cosmetology, it'll work for emergency management, nursing. You know, I can look and see what courses are required for nursing. A lot of times, actually most times, students will have already taken the ACA and the anatomies and the psych and the human. They'll take all the prerequisites before they get into the program. So once they get into the nursing program, all they have left to take is this nursing this fall, these 2 nursing classes in the spring, and then so on. So all the other things like the microbiology and the Englishes, they'll already have those out of the way, and that's fine. One other thing to keep in mind with a lot of these programs is, especially in things like our health science programs, when nursing, for example, nursing 111 is only offered in the fall. So you can only start the program in the fall. You cannot start it in the spring. If you finish everything else at the end of fall, you may have to wait until the next fall to get into the nursing program. I know nursing, sonography, radiography, nuclear med, a lot of those programs are that way. Associate in Arts, Associate in Science, you can pretty much take those courses whenever, but the nursing courses are only offered when they say they're offered here online. So if you won't be able to double up either. I won't be able to like skip summer and try to take nursing 113 early. It's only offered in the summer. So that's one other thing to note. So it's important to find this layout like this. Okay, so for ACA 115 students, I've showed you now where to find your courses you've already had and the courses that you still need. So you should pretty much be done, and you'll see at the end here it tells me how many hours is required for the program. I need to make sure that what I have and what I plan out is going to equal 71 if this is what I want to do, and then I would be done if I'm in ACA 115. If I'm in ACA 122, I still need to figure out what the universities want. So let me go back to my course for a second, and I think I've got it listed at the bottom here. Yeah, the North Carolina Community College Transfer website. It should be listed in the same week that I give you the map assignment. If not, it's also going to be listed in this section over here. Let me scroll back up. I've got all the different weeks, and then I've got a section separately on ePortfolio and a section separately on college and career planning. It'll also be listed in that college and career planning website section. So if I click on that, and the reason I'm sending you to the North Carolina Community College Transfer site is because it's just a place that basically lists links to all the different universities and their plans. So if I want to find a bachelor's degree plan at ASU or at UNC Charlotte or anything like that, I can go to this website and I can scroll down and there's all the links to the plans. So I know a lot of our students want to go to ASU. So I'll just click on ASU. And then I'm going to click by program. Let's say I want to go to ASU and I want to major in accounting. Okay. I'm going to click on accounting and then click on the most recent year, the current one. And then here's the plan. Now, ASU does a good job of listing it semester by semester too. So they sort of tell you what to take in what semester, which I think is super helpful. When you look at it, you'll see that the yellow part is going to be the community college part. So just like we did on our website for the culinary and for the nursing, and we sort of lay out what courses to take when, they've already done that for you. Here's what they ideally would like for you to have your first semester. Now, if that's not what you took your first semester, or you've already got some of that transferred in, that's fine. But please go back and pick those courses up. Now, remember, like, for example, you only have to have one math to get the associate in arts with the community college, right? But notice that for the bachelor's degree in accounting, they want you to have math 152. They also want you to have math 171. And then they also want you to have brief calculus. So those extra math classes are the things you would take with those extra gen ed hours and those extra pre-major electives. Economic, and I always use the economics and the accounting as an example, because generally with any kind of business degree, they want you to take pretty much all of our introductory businessy courses that would transfer. So intro to business, business law, the accounting, financial accounting and managerial accounting, the economics 1 and 2, or I'm sorry, it's micro and macro, and then brief calculus. So there's a list of things they want you to take. Now, if you get to ASU and you didn't take those courses, that's fine. They'll probably still accept you. But maybe before you can take anything higher, you got to go back and finish these accounting classes. So instead of doing 2 years here and 2 years there, you might end up doing 2 years here and then 3 years there because you had so many courses that you didn't get before you got there. Does that make sense? So please make sure to try to follow this as closely as possible. This also probably gives you the best chance of admission. If you show up at ASU or you apply to ASU and you've had the courses they've asked you to have, then, and you've done well in them, you know, you meet the GPA requirements. And by the way, those things, there'll be some notes on these BDPs, these baccalaureate degree plans. But if you have the courses they've asked you to have and you have the GPA they've asked you to have, then you're in good shape for being admitted to the university. After the yellow part, which is what you take with us at the community college, here's where it lists out basically what you take when you're there. So this is that transfer part of the map. Semester 5 is basically like your junior year, your first semester, second semester. Semester 7 and 8 are basically going to be your senior year. Now, sometimes there's a whole bunch of electives there, these upper level core classes or whatever. It'd be great if you can sort of look at some of those and figure out what you want to take. But for the purpose of the assignment, if you just sort of give me this, you just kind of repasting the, or not copy and paste, but actually just, you know, kind of typing this into my form, then I know that you know what courses are required for this degree. Does that make sense? And this is what we're going for in this class, is for you to figure out what you need to do at the community college, and then for you to also figure out what's required at the university and be aware of what courses. And that all these colleges will also put in here if there's a minimum GPA, which it tells you there, or if there's certain courses they want you to have before you get into the College of Business, it lists that there. So I think this is super helpful. I'm going to back up just a second and show you just another one. Let's say you wanted to go into, I don't know, you wanted to get a degree in criminal justice. I can find a plan for that. Most of the universities will have a plan like this ready-made for their most popular majors. So any of the things that most people will want to major in, they've got it. Now, you might find something every now and then, or you go to a private school website and they won't have a plan like this. In that case, you just need to see what they ask for their four-year students, you know, their traditional students at the university to have, and you sort of had to figure out what you took here will equivalent to what they're asking for. So that might be a little more complicated. But for most of you, there's a ready-made plan, whether it's at ASU or UNC Charlotte or Western Carolina or UNC Wilmington or whatever. The state universities should have these ready-made plans. This one I pulled up was criminal justice. I don't know why it's kind of small. Let me see if I can blow it up a little bit. There's the courses again in yellow that you would take with us. And if you haven't taken them in that order, that's fine, but you want to make sure that you pick those courses up if you can. And you need to plan a little bit, because Psychology 281, Abnormal Psych, is only offered in certain semesters here. So you need to make sure you figure out when that's offered. so that you can take it in the right time frame. And then again, they'll be in gray what courses you take at the university. Again, there's a lot of elective room here. So, I mean, you can go on their website and you can go ahead and start looking at what some of those courses are and fill in the gaps a little bit better. But for right now, just be aware, you know, minor course free elective, it looks like for criminal justice, there's a lot of room for a minor. So maybe you would major in criminal justice and minor in something else. All right, so there's that. Just one more thing, go back to this community college website, just pull up one more. My daughter goes to UNC Charlotte, so I'll pull up UNC Charlotte. Their plans are a little different. They list them by the college. So if you wanted to, for example, major in like exercise science or something like that, you would need to know that was in the College of Health and Human Services, or just click through and see what's there. Social work is pretty popular. You could look at that one. Exercise science is becoming more and more popular for medicine majors, actually. So if you look at that one, this one looks a little different, but it still tells you what courses you need. Let me pull it up a little bit. First of all, it's asking for the associate in science. This one doesn't lay it out semester by semester, so it won't say, here, take this in the fall, take this in the spring. But it does show you, again, sort of like our degrees laid out. Take the English 111 and 112, choose an art music course, and then choose a literature. I noticed this about UNC Charlotte's plans. They always want you to have a literature, and they always want you to have a history. So they break the social science courses up into sort of the social sciencey stuff and then the history. So they're kind of picky about that. It asks for specifically for chemistry to be your science. It asks for math 171 and 172 to be your math. If you took a different science, never fear, there's still going to be some elective room in there. But notice that they're specifically asking for chemistry. They're specifically asking for anatomy under some of these extra courses. So again, you wouldn't want to get there and try to major in exercise science and show up having not taken chemistry or having not taken this math 172 or having not taken a history, because they're just going to go back and say, okay, it's nice that you have the degree, you come in, you're a junior, but before you can take these exercise science classes and be admitted to this program, you got to go back and pick these other prerequisites up. So you want to know that before you go in. So I'm going to stop here because every time I try to make a 5-10 minute video, I end up making a 20 or 30 minute one, so I'm going to stop. But hopefully what I've shown you is the map form, how you can figure out what courses that you need with us, and then how you can figure out what courses you need at the university. And those of you who don't plan to transfer, I would still encourage you to go look at the university plans and just see what's out there. Because once you see that with your associate's degree, you may be halfway done with a bachelor's degree, and you look at it and you think, okay, when I get to the university, I'm taking nutrition, and I'm taking foundations of physical conditioning, and strength and conditioning, and exercise testing, and my daughter's in a class right now. She's doing exercise science at the university, and she's in, which is weird because I don't have it listed here, but she's taking like an emergency response course right now, and she's getting CPR certified and all that other stuff, which is interesting because she's taking the course online. So that's been a challenge, but you know, when you look and see, you may be like, wow, this sounds like these are courses I really would like to take. So don't count it out. Some of you may not be interested in university, going into university, and I understand that. My job in this course is to get you to know your options and to make sure that you know what you're sort of getting yourself into. So we're going to try to plan out as best we can. So I think this is helpful to know that this website's here, that I can go to this community college transfer site and I can look at, maybe you're really interested in Wilmington. You can click on the Wilmington site and then see the plans they have there and see like, okay, well, if I have my degree from the community college, what would I need to do to finish that business administration degree? Or what would I need to do to finish that chemistry degree and become a high school chemistry teacher, or criminology, or whatever the case may be? Remember also, not all schools have all majors. So for example, some schools will have exercise science, some won't. So some schools will have criminal justice or engineering and some won't. So you may look at a couple different universities just to find actually the degree that you want. Alrighty, so let me go back here and, well, I can't figure out how to stop sharing. Oh, there we go. It's at the top. Sorry. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos. I've done plenty of Zoom meetings in the last few months since we've had the coronavirus, but it's been a while since I've done a video. But hopefully this is helpful. I know that it's been longer than I meant for it to be, but that's fine. Hopefully you bared with me all the way through. But let me know if you have any questions about the map. Like I said, whether you're doing this in the fall, the spring, or whatever, the assignment's pretty much the same, and I think it's still pretty valuable. Even if you're almost done with what you need to do here at the community college because you're taking this course sort of late, um, it's still a helpful assignment to look at where you've been and what you have left. And then certainly, like I mentioned, that university piece, because some of you are just discounting university, or you're assuming you want to go to university and you haven't really looked at what all that involves. So hopefully this will be helpful for you. And like I said a minute ago, let me know if you have any questions. You've got my email, you've got a way to contact me, my phone number, all that other stuff in the course. So let me know whatever questions you have. I'm happy to help. Thanks.